And today I'm talking about my insecurities, inspired by the beautiful song by Sauti Sol called Insecure from their new album Midnight Train. I had to. It's such an inspiring album.
Wake the streets up. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Wake the streets up. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Hi guys, I'm Kine from being Kine and welcome to my channel. So the first thing I've been insecure about is my looks. When I was young, I think back in primary school, I was molested, unfortunately. It means I was introduced to sexuality at a really young age, and it made me very conscious about my body. So I was afraid, I wanted to be invisible more than anything else. I was afraid of putting any effort, I was afraid of being seen, I was afraid of anybody noticing any bulges from anywhere. So I wanted to wear baggy clothes, and if I wore fitting clothes, I think I would slouch like that and sort of put my hands inside my shirt and walk around with them so that you don't see that my boobies have started growing. And unfortunately for me, the habit of slouching like that stuck with me to date. It's something that I am currently working on leaving, but some days are better than others. You know, when somebody does something like that to you, it leaves a mark and a dent. And it took me very many years to realize just how much damage this person had done to my confidence. And the idea of being invisible just crawled into every other aspect of my life. So be it being active in school, be it going after my dreams, be it speaking about, you know, like sharing my own opinions, speaking about my truth, or speaking about my feelings. It sort of just made me like crawl in a cocoon, and I just shut people out so much, and I presented to them just what I wanted them to see. And I'm realizing now that trying to be invisible was not the right way to go by it. And it's taken so much of my childhood and so much of my life, because it made me so afraid and thoroughly less confident. But you know what? Sometimes time heals all wounds, and I am hoping to God's grace that this is one of those things that heal sooner rather than later. So I used to look myself in the mirror and say the most negative things. You're ugly, look at yourself, you look like a beast, you look like a monster. Or at least I thought I was ugly in high school. So I was bullied a lot, I was called names, I was dark. Yeah, people sort of reminded me of that. So that just added more salt to injury. And in high school, people used to do this list from like the most beautiful and then the most ugly, and unfortunately I was in the most ugly. So in my mind, when I grew up, really going into uni, I knew I was ugly. In my head I was like, you know what, I didn't like looking myself in the mirror, I didn't like dressing up, I didn't like taking photos, I didn't like I didn't like putting effort, because I just felt like, why the fuck am I putting effort, you know? I'm still ugly anyway. It won't make a difference. Physically, the characters that I really don't like about my body. The first was my teeth. That you know, I really hated that. I really hated, and I would hate it when my mom would be like, smile, because I didn't know how to smile. So every single time I'd do this, and then I would look like this. And my mom would be like, what the hell is that smile? Just smile normally. Hey, those were the days. One day I started doing research on how to smile, and there was this person that said the easiest way to smile is just laugh and look at yourself in the mirror, and when you laugh it's so easy. And then look at that and then have that mental image in your head, and the next time somebody's like, smile. Right, the other character that I didn't like is my stomach. I really don't like my stomach. Like, oh my god. I'm like, hey everyone, I am not 3 months pregnant. And the next time somebody thinks it's okay for them to comment on my stomach and tell me I'm pregnant, I'm gonna literally, if you're close to me, smack your mouth. That's a promise. Anyway, I've been so insecure about my stomach. Yani, God forbid. Woo. Let's just let this baby out. I'm gonna show you. You know what? Yeah, people always say when I wear a skirt, I look, yeah. Bring it on, people. Yes, I look 3 months pregnant and I'm not afraid. I'm done. I'm done sucking it in, and I'm done, you know, making you all feel good about yourselves with your and shit. So, there we go. All for the internet. Yeah? And then I realized that all the way from uni, I learned to suck it in. And I sucked it in so much, it became the norm. So the other day I was exercising, and then I'm doing these sit-ups, and I feel like, what? And then I let my stomach out, like to let it breathe, and I realized it's painful. I suck it in and I realized it's okay. Then in my head I was like, nah, that is not right. That is not right. I should just be free with myself. And I'm like, I'm finding it so hard to let it just be free, but you know, anyway. Right. The other thing I've also been very insecure about is the color of my skin. Of course, like I said, in high school, I discovered that colorism does exist in Kenya. Then I was lucky enough to go to Australia and study from 2016 to mid 2019. And I faced racism. I can't really tell which one is worse, but let's just say with racism, they're more, it's aggressive and more in your face. Nothing as aggressive as what you see with the US right now, unfortunately. What black people in US are facing right now is really, really harsh. It seems unfair for somebody to be judged based on the color of their skin, because none of us chose to be black. None of us chose to be born where we were born. And for you to use that as a way to hurt me, to harm me, to take advantage of me, to manipulate me, to just do things that, it just makes me wonder where humanity is going, you know. Are you forgetting who you are as a human? Are you forgetting love? Are you forgetting beauty, God, and all these things that were created to, you know, it's okay for you to treat somebody like that just based on that. And well, so I did face racism in Australia, and I remember it was interesting, really. One, because people had stereotypes about Africans. We are all Africans. That was interesting to see people asking me if you have like, what, lions in your backyard, and have you ever seen giraffes, and oh, do you know that guy from Nigeria? Hey people, not every single one of these Africans know each other. We're all different, we all speak very different languages, but hey, just by the way. And I also I'd say the part that I faced it most when I was applying for jobs, and you'd go for job interviews and they'd just look at you and be like, you already know, you're not getting it. And it became so bad. I know me and a few of my friends, we would change our names, like our African names, So for me, it was just somebody Nelia, and then I would send my CV and, you know, sort of, but it felt so bad that we were not given the same opportunities, and it also felt bad that in Australia, Africans are required to, I'm not saying, I'm not just specifying Africans, but there is this requirement, or what's that? English. So you're required to do that IELTS thing, PTE and all that. And it just felt like a blow, because we've been learning English ever since we were young. You know, ever since I was 3 years old, I was doing ABCD, I was learning cat, apple, and all that. And to reach a certain point where I am right now, at my age, with all my degree, to be told that I have to prove that I know English, it just feels like, what? Because I know they don't ask that of other countries, and it's because they say that other countries are English speaking countries, but because it's African, and then things are different, because apparently, so it always seems really, really unfair when these things like this are forced on you and you don't know what to do about it, and you don't know how to act, and you're just left wondering, why, you know, why am I black? God, I think I asked at a certain point, I think I've asked God a million and one times. I was like, why am I black? God, why Kenya? Why here? Why now? You know, why wasn't I born white? You know, because I just felt like, what would life have been different if I was? But now I know that I love my skin. I'm glad I faced what I faced in Australia, because it made me love my skin. It made me feel like, you know what? I love my skin, and I'm gonna be very comfortable in my skin. And because of that, I feel like my confidence jumped a little higher, because I didn't feel ugly anymore. I didn't feel invisible anymore, and I didn't feel like I had to prove myself that I'm something just because I'm black. I just felt like I was gonna give it my best, and I was gonna live my best life, and if it was meant to be, it was meant to be. If it wasn't meant to be, then, you know, we move on to the next things, because, you know, life is short and opportunities will always come. You know, whether you're the best or the worst, you'll always get opportunities. So why not just be grateful that you're here anyway, you know? Right, that's about 15 minutes of me talking nonsense. I've also been insecure about my talents, really. I've been a lover of art for the longest time. Like, I love music, I love fashion, I love literature, writing. When I was young, I loved music, I loved art, and I loved fashion, really, and that's all I wanted to do. I knew it was music and fashion. The two of them together was just perfect for me. But of course, life happened, and, you know, I listened to people, and I couldn't just decide things for myself, and I just let people decide things for me, and I was too afraid to take a risk. I was too afraid to try something different, and sort of really messed up my self-confidence, because I didn't put in the work, I didn't put in the effort, I didn't put in the passion. And every single time I tried to do something, when we went for those TPF, we did them twice. TPF, oh my lord. So when I went there and I got rejected, it felt like, oh my god, probably I'm not really good at this, so why the hell do I want to do this? But I've realized now that just saying you want to do music is just, it's not enough. You know, you don't just say, hey, I want to do music, and then, oh, I'm talented. You know, you have to put in the work, you have to put in the effort, you have to practice. And it took me so long for me to actually admit that I want to do art and actually do something about it. I always felt like I wasn't good enough. I wasn't good enough. It wasn't the right time. I didn't have the right resources. I wasn't prepared. I wasn't confident in it, and every single time I put out some work or I put out something and I would get attention from it, let me just say, if I would get attention or feedback or critique from any artistic thing that I do, I would take it really hard, whether it was positive or negative. I would just feel like, if it was negative, I would feel like, oh, I'm not good enough. Why the hell am I doing this? If it's positive, I'm like, why the hell do they like this? This looks bad for me, you know? So I always in my head have these things that I tell myself over and over and over again that brought me down in so many ways and in so many times that I never just took off. I just always find an excuse for something, and it made it really hard for me to pursue my dreams. Then I think I reached a certain point in my life where I felt like I was so unsatisfied, and I was like, nah, I would rather my art, man, be it good or bad. I would rather my art, you know. I would rather just let's just put it out there. Let's just put it out there. And it meant putting my perfectionism and OCD and impatience and self-doubt. It just meant, and validation. It just meant putting all these things aside and being like, yo, you have a deadline today, put up something, just do it, just do it. The worst thing that can happen to you is you go like that. And for me, I felt like my biggest regret really, if I was gone, would be facing God and him being like, with all the talents, with all that I gave you, you just let them go to waste. And I decided, nah, if I am to, God forbid, but if I am to go, I would want to go feeling proud of what I've accomplished in my artistry, especially. So I'm just gonna give it my all, really. And then I've also been very insecure about my ideas and my vision. Truth is, being Kine was actually started, when was it started? Last year. Like I actually did something about it last year, March 2019, right? So that's when I actually went online and I created all these social media platforms, because I was always very, very afraid of social media. It's just the idea of me putting myself out there, becoming very vulnerable to strangers and people that I don't know. It just made me feel some type of way. So I really closed myself up, and I closed myself off in very many things. So I didn't like taking photos, I didn't like going out, I didn't like, it just felt like I didn't like enjoying life or just putting myself out there, because I just felt like that giving that one person a chance for them to do something. And I felt like I've faced so many horrible people in my lifetime that I didn't think I wanted to take myself through that again. But I realized that, you know what, actually facing all the things that I've faced, I feel much stronger now. I'm a much stronger woman. Look at my guns. Okay, my bad, they're not, it's just fat. But look at him. I had to, my God, what is it? Why not? Why not? Anyway, right, so what was I talking about? My ideas, right? So I wasn't very confident in my vision and my ideas, and I didn't let it out. But I think who was the first person I talked to? I think, I gotta say thank you to my sisters and my friends, because they were just there like, do you woman, do you woman, do you. And slowly I started feeling like, well, oh, okay. And every single time I put up something and the world did not come to an end, I felt like, well, yeah, the world did not come to an end. So do you? And I did, and before I knew it, it became much easier for me to put my workout. Still working on that, but again, small steps. Everything, you know, doesn't happen overnight, you know. This is a little trick I learned, and please don't judge me and all. So when I make a video and I feel like it's not good enough, I go online and find like the worst, ugliest, whatever, like some video that I'm like, kwani mse anakaaje, and think kama mse ametoa yake, mi pia natoa yangu. So if you, oh my god, if you're my friend, you know who I'm referring to, but please do not let it out. I don't want people coming for me for no reason. But I realized that, you know what, there's some people here that are, hey, let me tell you, there's some people here that are confident. Anajua ni sura mbaya, anajua na sound mbaya, but the way they walk around, I just admire that so bad. I handle failure and critique more openly, like, and more calmly. It feels nice, really, because, you know, yeah, because I'm doing art and this is subject to people's opinion, so it's about time I be like, you know what, I can handle my shit, like on a serious, like on a serious note, I can handle my shit. Right, please subscribe, like, share, tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody. Right, you know that so oh my god, you know what, I used to look in myself in the mirror.
So much shit to talk about, but I'm not gonna talk about it today.
Anyways, boom. Nelly. Damn it. Oh, Nelly, you look so beautiful today. And I'll be like, wow, really? Okay, thank you. Oh, look at the way you did your eyebrows. Wow. Jesus, come see your daughter. Right.